and I was trying to get a kid through high school or elementary, I'd be upset too. So I'm just a word to the wise. Tell them the FCC may regulate it. They may not always regulate our cable. But we have options in this state. There's never just a complete monopoly. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator White. Senator Reese. Or is that you? No, excuse me, Representative Owen. Okay. I don't have any names up here. So
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Chair, for holding this meeting. Thank you guys for coming. One of the skills I've not learned yet in the legislature is to push the button quick. I was late, so all of the things that a lot of the things I wanted to ask you have been asked. I appreciate what you've told me. I will tell you all, yes, Mr. Ayers pointed out that they have been in contact with me, and they have. They were in contact with me beforehand because, like my good friend Representative Johnson, my constituents had concerns about depth and breadth of service and a responsiveness and those things that we were hopefully wanting to get fixed over the long term. Maybe we can get back to that. But I want to thank you guys. I didn't want any of y'all to come. I did not, because I know what you're doing. I wanted other people to come. And since this is being videoed, I do hope that the CEO is paying attention. And it'll be online for him to go back and look at it. And so my comments are more addressed towards him than they are to you. You wanted to say something a moment ago. Do you want to take a second and I'm going to give you a second of my time if there's something you wanted to pass back to us?
I just wanted to address some of the things about our recovery efforts. From day one, Altice has never withheld anything from this area. All they have said is, what do you need and how fast do you need it? I started telling you how long I've been in the company because I want you to know I've done a lot of storm restoration. Nothing like this, because nothing has ever happened like this. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just wanting to level set where we are, what our process is. In order to restore service, first of all, we do have to wait until it is safe for our employees to go into an area. That's just a fact. And then when we say power, we're not just talking about the electrical energy. We're talking about the power infrastructure has to be restored because that's what we attach to. Now, we were talking about priorities. Our first priority is to get stuff on, get customers on. And if we can come in and effect temporary repairs to do that, that's what we do. And in the process of effecting temporary repairs, a lot of stuff is laying on the ground. And nobody intentionally, well-meaning people, clearing debris, trying to restore other utilities, continually come behind us after we've temporarily restored service, and they cut us, just trying to do their job or trying to clear debris. So we see multiple service interruptions in the same areas. I know you're short on time. Go ahead.
And we all understand that.
Okay.
We do, and this is for the CEO and anyone in New York who cares to listen to us.
Right.
A great deal of this consternation would not be here if someone had not made a decision somewhere to ditch customer service. Okay, the story Mike Johnson just told you a moment ago about someone being on the line for 2 hours is absolutely true. I went through this myself just because my neighbors told me they were going through this. One day was 40 minutes. One day was, and this is not on you guys, but someone made a decision somewhere along the line to not have an active customer service situation. Okay, so yes, I know some people like to do things online, but when you don't have online, you can't do that. So this is something for them to consider. And this is not about television. This is about communication. It is about public safety. It is about things like people being at home, not being able to use Life Alert, not being able to have their healthcare system monitored at their local hospital. Okay, this has an effect that is so far-reaching. You guys know it, and I hope when Mr. Goy comes down there, he can see it. This is affecting communities. One of our mayors is here. She's driven 3 hours over here today from DeRidder, Louisiana, to talk to you all about the effect on their communities. Okay, this thing is far-reaching.
May I respond
you
to
may.
the customer
Yes, sir.
service?
Yes, sir.
So I do not speak with Mr. Goey, directly. I
sure.
feel like I probably could get access to him if I needed to, but I don't, have his number in my phone. I do speak directly and often with the COO, and I can tell you I am on regular calls, like on a weekly or bi-weekly cadence, where we understand that we need to make improvements, and we are investing in those improvements. I know that the improvements will take time, but I also know that we're not talking about, months and years. We are focused on improving the customer service and investing, like Brad said, in technology and in people and in resources to improve that. The same thing with some of the field service concerns that have been expressed today. Appointments being scheduled that shouldn't have been, and that communication gap with the customers. We are focused on those things, and I'm on calls where we go through plans on what needs to happen, what needs to take place to make these improvements, and we begin, walking through the details of those
Move
plans.
as quickly as you can. Let me give you a story. Louisiana is a colorful, interesting place. And during the early stages of COVID, when people were getting unemployed and people were having to apply for unemployment and those kind of things were going on, our Department of Child and Family Services and our workforce development people found out they didn't have enough people to man a call center because everyone was unemployed. They went out and hired contractors, and it was working within a couple of weeks. Okay, this is not a government project. Literally, it is, but it's not hard to do. To hire people to answer phones and at least talk to people, okay? And I want to mention one more thing before I let go of the floor. There was a guy in my town. I wanted some friends to come. I wanted some of my constituents to come up because of COVID. A lot of them passed off. There's a gentleman in my town named Mike Anderson. He's a retired Army senior non-commissioned officer. As this thing was as power came back up, he started wondering where his phones were, where his internet was. And he called me. He said, Chuck, look, I live down this road, and I have 5 neighbors, all of them elderly, all of them shut-ins. And over the course of time, they had gotten rid of their clunky AT&T landline so they could have the clear digital signal from Suddenlink. Some of them's life alerts tied to it. Some of them's dialysis monitors tied to it. So Mike's going up and down these road every day. This is what we do in Louisiana. But he got hung up on 5 times by Suddenlink. I confirmed with him this today. 5 different times he was hung up on. He was treated belligerently. And that's one of many. Okay, and again, pass this back on. Okay, customer service is an art, but it is not impossible. And that's what we crave and what we need more than anything else is you guys understanding that our people want someone to talk to. Also, some of your senior people on the ground here, so you guys can get back to work.
And we are focused on getting those things fixed. And I get the feeling now I might not get to speak again. So just real quick,
I'm with you.
I want to say first of all, nobody threw me into this meeting. I really believe, and I believe our senior leadership believed that. Since they were not able to travel, and there are some valid COVID concerns, since they weren't able to travel on the amount of notice they had and making other reservations, I am a cross-functional manager at a very high level in the company. And I am also in a position where I'm about as close to the customer as a vice president in the company. And I am very familiar with all of these markets. I started working in Calcasieu Parish in 2006. My management over that area at a regional level began in 2006. So the thing is, I believe that I am uniquely qualified to understand and speak to the needs of these communities and understand, and I have the knowledge of what our restoration activities consist of, how we prioritize, what resources are available to us, how we make those decisions, and also at a higher level, what plans that the company has as far as improving these very issues you're talking about. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I can give you specific details, But I can assure you, I'm a man of my word, and we are working on these issues that you're bringing up, and we are going to see change sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Owen. Representative Fontenot, I think you need to leave in a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and let you take your questions. Okay, sir? Are you on? All right. Excuse me. Now you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. And I guess I'll leave here with the most important thing is I'm blessed I don't have your service. But I want to share some things with you. In life, we must find at some